The door slammed open and thunder roared behind her. Every head in the biker bar turned at once. A young pregnant woman stood in the doorway, drenched from the storm, her trembling hands gripping her swollen belly. Her lips quivered as she whispered, "Please, someone help me." The jukebox froze mid-song. Cigarette smoke curled in the silence. Then Diesel, the burly leader of the Steel Vultures, pushed his chair back, the wood groaning beneath his weight. Tattoos covered his thick arms, and his deep-set eyes burned beneath the dim light. "Ma'am," he said, voice low and steady, "you lost?" The woman's hair clung to her face. She shook her head weakly, rain dripping onto the cracked floorboards. "No, I'm being followed. He said he'd find me tonight." A murmur spread across the room. Diesel's gaze sharpened. "Who's after you?" "Rick Tanner," she whispered, voice breaking. "Please, he's dangerous." The name dropped like a thunderclap. Rick Tanner, a violent loan shark, a man even bikers didn't cross. Diesel's jaw tightened. The woman's knees buckled, and he caught her before she hit the floor. "Get her a chair!" he barked. Two bikers rushed over, clearing a space by the fire. She sank into the chair, shivering. The room watched her in tense silence. Leather jackets, scarred faces. Rough men who had seen it all. And yet there was something about this fragile, desperate woman that softened even the hardest of them. Her name was Lena. She was 7 months pregnant, working 2 jobs to survive after her boyfriend's debts caught up to her. She had nowhere to go. "He said if I didn't pay," she murmured, "he'd take my baby." Diesel crouched down to her level. "Not tonight, he won't." He stood up, glanced around the bar, and said one word. "Lock it." Chains rattled as someone bolted the doors. The storm outside screamed, but inside the air was still, heavy with fear and defiance. If you still believe in kindness inside dark places, take a second now, like, share, and subscribe. Because what happens next will remind you that mercy can come from the most unexpected hearts. Diesel handed her a mug of coffee. "You can stay here till morning," he said. "No one's getting through that door." But even as he spoke, Lena's eyes flicked to the window. Headlights cut through the rain, 4 bikes rolling up slow, deliberate. Diesel's hand went to his belt. "He found her," he muttered. Outside, Rick Tanner stepped off his bike, leather jacket glistening under the rain, a cigarette burning between his lips. He was tall, cruel-eyed, his smirk wide enough to make a man's skin crawl. "Evening, Diesel," he called out. "You got something in mind." Diesel stepped outside, rain soaking through his shirt. "You don't own people, Rick." Rick chuckled, flicking his cigarette into the mud. "Oh, I think you'll find I do. That woman owes me 20 grand. She and her brat belong to me until it's paid." The air snapped. Diesel's fist connected with Rick's jaw before he could blink. The crack echoed through the storm. Then chaos erupted. Bikers flooded out, fists swinging, boots slamming into mud. Thunder rumbled as metal clanged and shouts filled the night. Lena pressed her hands to her ears, tears streaming as she listened to the violence outside, the sound of strangers risking everything for her. Inside, the fire crackled. The jukebox hummed faintly again, like a heartbeat trying to steady itself. Minutes later, the door burst open. Diesel stood there, soaked in rain and blood, one eye bruised but burning with victory. "They won't bother you again," he said simply. Lena stared at him through her tears. Why would you help me?" she asked, her voice small and trembling. Diesel looked away for a long moment, his voice rough when it finally came. "Because once, someone helped me when I didn't deserve it." He walked past her, grabbed a towel, and sat down by the fire. The rest of the gang sat too, silent, bruised, but proud. For once, violence had done something good. Hours passed. The rain eased. Lena fell asleep by the fire, her hand resting protectively on her belly. Diesel sat across from her, the flames reflecting in his tired eyes. He thought of the daughter he'd lost years ago, the one he couldn't protect. Maybe this was his second chance. Morning light spilled through the shattered blinds. Lena woke to the smell of coffee and the quiet hum of bikes outside. Diesel handed her a small bag, cash, food, and a warm coat. "There's a bus stop 2 miles down," he said. "You'll be safe now." Her eyes filled again. "How do I ever thank you?" He smiled faintly. Just raise that kid to be someone the world can't break. She nodded, her hand brushing his arm. A silent promise between two broken souls. When she reached the door, she turned back one last time. "If it's a boy," she whispered, "I'll name him Diesel." He froze, caught off guard. "You don't have to." "I want to," she said softly. Then she stepped into the morning light. Weeks passed. The steel vultures went back to their rough routines: engines, grease, beer, and laughter. But something in Diesel changed. He wasn't just a leader anymore. He was a protector. Then one evening a letter arrived. No return address. Inside was a photo of Lena, glowing, holding a newborn baby wrapped in a blue blanket. On the back were 5 words written in careful, shaky handwriting: "Thank you for saving us." Diesel stared at it for a long time. The bar was noisy around him, laughter echoing, but for him, time stood still. He swallowed hard, emotion catching in his throat. He placed the photo on the bar's wall beside an old picture of his daughter. For the first time in years, Diesel smiled, a smile that didn't hide behind regret, because sometimes the most broken men are the ones sent to heal others, and sometimes the dirtiest hands do the holiest work.